River Wye, the fourth longest river in the UK, forming part of the border between England and Wales, begins here in the Wye Valley. Flowing from the mid-Welsh mountains on the eastern slopes of Plyn Limon, a beautiful location in Wales. Starting its journey here, the river travels around 150 miles to its mouth in Chepstow, and until recent years was a place of outstanding beauty. But why? Mass blooms of microscopic algae have taken over the once clear, clean water. This has been caused by excessive nutrients flowing into the river. Nitrates and phosphates are fertilizer. They stimulate the algae and cause it to bloom in rapid succession. The algae forms smothering plagues that shut out the light and draw oxygen out of the water, killing aquatic life and vegetation, which therefore impacts the food sources for land animals and avian species too. The cause of these excessive nutrients is said to be sewage being pumped directly into the river and mass runoff from overcrowded local chicken farms. To try and get some opinions and more information on the river, we spoke to Dr. Alex Playford, zoologist, for her views on why it is important we conserve our water systems. We also asked locals at Ross-on-Wye their opinions on the state of the River Wye today.
You mean the pumping out from the sewers? That thing, yeah, well that's shouldn't be done, but it's the country we're in at the moment, I do believe.
Well, so just how have our waterways got so polluted? Well, there's a number of different reasons why they're in such a state. Firstly, we've got runoff of treated and untreated sewage by the water agencies. We have agricultural runoffs, and that can be from fertilisers, or it can be from the poultry industries. That's particularly bad because it creates algal blooms. You get high levels of nitrogen in the water, the algae grows, and then that can choke out wildlife.
It's not so good, is it? I mean, I'm a fisherman as well, so we do notice lots of bottles and rubbish and stuff floating around. There's quite a few outlets where they let the raw sewages coming into the river, and obviously it's having an effect on some of the fish. I've watched television. I was watching a programme the other day, and they were showing outlets actually on the River Wye, and it doesn't look too good. I think it was Country File. I think they're going to invest a lot of money in trying to clean it up, but how long that's going to take, we just don't know. The thing we've all got to do together, really. Yeah. You know, obviously a lot of investment's needed, but yeah, all of us. When we come here, there's usually quite a lot of people kayaking and paddling. But we're just saying today, I mean, it's bank holiday, and there doesn't seem to be anybody around. I don't know what's. But normally when we come here quite a lot, and there are a lot of people who use the river for the kayaking and the canoeing, and then they swim under the bridge for where the yacht club is, the boat.
It's generally accepted amongst a wide range of agencies, the government and the general public, that our waterways are in a really poor state. In fact, a recent government report described it as a toxic mix of different chemicals that have really made our waterways just unusable, really. And of course, the other big area of concern is the impact that all this pollution is having on our wildlife. So this pollution, whatever form it's in, can often really damage and upset the food webs that are in the water systems. So once you start to lose your invertebrates, that has knock-on consequences right the way up the food chain. So without the invertebrates, you lose your fish species, and without that, you can lose your fish-eating birds. So there are certain key species which act, if you like, as indicator species. So if you see a river which has got otters and kingfishers, pearl mussels in it, then these are really good indicator species that it's good quality water. But we're seeing less and less of that now in some places where we just don't have the good quality water to support the number of invertebrates that are needed to support higher up the food chain.
I'm not sure about ideas, but it's well documented that the River Wye is starting to die, if not dead now. Salmon fishing on this stretch used to be really good. A lot of salmon fishermen down here. As you can see, there's nobody here, nobody fishing much now. I used to fish this stretch a lot 20 years ago. I don't fish anymore, not because of pollution, but other issues. But yeah. You can come down here anytime. You'd always see a fisherman here. Just up there is a sewage outlet, just up here, just off the bend. That goes directly into the river. You've got the farms on up the river, right up the way to Hereford. So the runoff has got to come, it's got to go somewhere. I won't go in there, no.
Why should we be so concerned about the state of our waterways? Well, of course, many people want to be out there enjoying the waterways, and really with the levels of contaminants and disease-causing organisms like E. coli in the water, it's just not safe to do that in many places. I think one area that many commentators point to, which has really not helped the problem but is also a way forward, is just the lack of sampling that's been done by the Environment Agency over the last 10 years. And in fact, records of the quality of our water are at a 20-year low. So with severely cut funds, they just have not been able to get out there and monitor the quality of the water. And without that baseline data, it's very, very difficult to make plans to see what the situation truly is and really have that baseline that you need in order to know where to put things right, where to focus your effort. And so really good quality water sampling by the Environment Agency is a really important first step forward to getting our rivers and our lakes back in shape. Well, there's a number of different ways that we can tackle this challenge. The first is to tighten up our regulation and make sure that the polluters are not putting in the just sheer volume of pollutants that's going into the water. Another problem we have is ageing infrastructure, and so we need to really increase our capacity to treat the water and treat the sewage before it's released into the river system. And so those are two key areas, regulation and improvement of infrastructure, that really need to be done urgently. In terms of clearing up already contaminated water, there's a number of different things you can do here. There's various bioremediation that you can do, so using certain microorganisms and plants to try and clear up the water that has been contaminated. So it is possible to clear up the water. It's been done in the past in the UK, it's been done in many parts of the world. Some of Europe's heavily contaminated sort of post-industrial rivers have been restored to good health. So there are things that we can do to improve the situation.